Hi everyone, Ann Doll here. Welcome to my second quick draw video. This week I'm drawing Grim, the main character of my comic strip Grim Days, in a Tim Burton style. Tim Burton's work has a very dark but fun energy, and since Grim is both dark and fun, this should hopefully be a good mashup. I have had a few people who have been curious about why I created Grim Days, which is hard to properly explain in the comments section of the Facebook page, especially since it requires a considerable amount of background information. So while you are watching this design take shape, I am going to explain why Grim Days. When I was little, I got it in my head that I wanted to be great at drawing. Not necessarily an artist, just really good at drawing. This was because Pippi Longstocking could draw, and when I was little, I wanted nothing more than to be Pippi Longstocking. So I worked really hard starting at an early age to get good at drawing. By the time I hit high school, I actually started thinking that I would like to be an artist, but I had an art teacher that straight up told me that I would never be good enough to become a professional artist. To be fair, I did learn a lot from her, but it did pretty much crushed my dreams. Being an impressionable teenager, I took it to heart and believed there was no hope of me being an artist. When I was in college, I tried to pursue an art-adjacent career by studying to be a costume designer for theater. I was actually a decent designer and getting pretty good at being a seamstress, but unfortunately there was way too much drama in theater, which I know sounds silly, but if you're in theater, you understand. There's just a lot of drama. So I left school and not knowing what else to do with my life. I spent the next 5 years working various minimum wage jobs, sometimes working 3 at a time. I also got married during this stretch. After 5 years, I decided I wanted to get a degree to maybe get out of retail or food service. And so I went back and got a BA in anthropology. I graduated in 2009, and due in equal parts to my choice of degree and to the economy at that time, I ended up working the grill at McDonald's. I was the epitome of the I have a liberal arts degree, would you like fries with that? Shortly after I graduated, my husband ended up working for the university, and at that time they allowed their employee spouses to take classes for free. So I actually tried to go back for an art degree since it was free, and even though I had done very little art in almost a decade, I found there was a part of me that still wanted to be an artist. Less than a year later, I got pregnant and had to drop out of the program since I couldn't handle working and being a student and being pregnant. Just before I gave birth to my son, I was hired by the university as a custodian, and then I started working there full-time 6 weeks after he was born. Wanting to be a better provider for my son, I worked nights as a custodian and then went to classes to hopefully become an accountant during the day. Halfway through that accounting degree I was working on, I actually ended up getting a promotion to a pretty cozy office job for one of the departments at the university, and decided I really didn't want to be an accountant. I was good at it, but I didn't really enjoy it. Since I had the free tuition still, and I wanted to work my way up in the university at that time, I decided to switch to a graduate program in higher education student affairs. I wasn't a full-time student because of being a mom, and I was working full-time for the university. So instead of other people who got done in 2.5 years, it took me 5 years to get my master's degree, and I graduated in December 2019. The summer before I graduated, I started to realize how much I missed making art, and so I started drawing and painting again. I sadly realized my skill level had significantly decreased since my teen years. My knowledge of where I had been versus the work I was currently producing was very disheartening. But I pushed myself to keep trying. I did see improvement, but not nearly as quickly as I would like. Furthermore, I was also having an issue that I had never moved past when I was younger, where I was really good at copying other people's work, but I was absolutely horrible at creating original pieces. Then in February 2020, I was informed that the university was preparing to lay off over half the people that held my position at the university. by that May. In early March, we were also sent home because of the pandemic, and the school district closed down, so my son was sent home as well. So in under a month's time, I had a pandemic, a likely layoff, and now I was also having to homeschool my son, all thrown at me at the same time. I was extremely stressed, to say the least. I tried to use all my extra time at home to improve my art, but the stress was getting to me in a way that was making me even more judgmental about my own artwork. I came up with the idea that to keep myself drawing, but to stop myself from being so mean to myself, I would draw terribly every day. Not intentionally bad per se, but quick and simple, so it was what it was. And I couldn't feel bad about it because I didn't try my best, so it was obviously going to be not so great. I wanted a theme to these drawings, and since we were all joking about it being the apocalypse anyways, I decided that would be my theme. Next, I needed one or more simple characters to use. I had been kicking around the idea of creating enamel pins a few months prior because I was hoping maybe I could get into being a vendor at events or something. And according to my research, pin designs were a lot better if they were very simple. And so at that time, I had created a few concept designs for a cute Grim Reaper. It was a really quick and easy thing to draw and seemed the perfect fit for an apocalypse-themed series of drawings. Since the character was cute, and since my main coping mechanism is humor, I decided to avoid serious images and just make fun of everything that was happening. After the first few drawings, I realized it looked a lot like a comic strip and decided to just go ahead and make it one. I didn't think it would get much attention, especially since not many people seem to get my humor in my normal day-to-day life. I didn't want to fill my art page with it since it was very different from what I had previously been posting on it, so I made a Facebook page just for Grim Days. I expected my friends and family to like it because that's what you do with your friends and family, but to my surprise, the number of complete strangers liking my page quickly surpassed the amount of friends and family who had liked it. And now here we are. So long story short, Grim Days exists because it is my form of cheap therapy. And now you know why Grim Days. So here's the finished drawing. This style was actually really hard for me since it is so different from my own, but I am really happy with how it turned out. I actually think all the time I have spent drawing badly for my comic strip has helped to improve my overall drawing skills, which was not exactly the intention when I started drawing Grim Days, but it definitely has helped. Like with last week's finished piece, this one will be available for download on my Patreon for Tier 2 and higher patrons. So if you would like to get some wallpapers with my art or some of the other benefits I offer, please subscribe to my Patreon. I will have a link for it in the description along with links to my Facebook, Instagram, and Webtoon pages. Also, if you liked this video, please take a second and hit the like button below and leave a comment to let me know what you think about this drawing or about why I draw Grim Days. And if you like watching me draw or like hearing me tell stories, then please click the subscribe button. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to next time. Bye!